Thursday, everyone. Welcome to today's IG Live. I'm Robin Ducharme, and today we are going to have a 25-minute conversation with Dr. Ingrid Clayton. I had Dr. Ingrid on our podcast just now, and the episode will be released in the next few weeks. We were talking about fawning. For those of you who don't know what fawning is, it's our natural survival response that is listed as the fourth F. So there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And fawning, I think, is a new term. It's a new understanding. Psychologists like Dr. Clayton have been researching and now helping people with fawning and unfawning. And today, I'm just excited to talk to her about this topic that we're learning more about. And I know myself, that is my natural survival instinct is to fawn. I grew up that way and I've carried that into my adult relationships. And I'm learning how to unfawn and react differently in many situations in my life. So I'm excited to have her. And for those of you joining us, thank you for being here. This is your opportunity to talk to Dr. Ingrid about fawning and learn more. And hopefully she'll provide you with some guidance on how to navigate this in your own life. So let's get started. Yay, Dr. Ingrid!
I'm equally excited. Every time I can figure out how to join a live, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a miracle.
We did it. We did it. Technology is like the least of my strengths. I'm learning as I go. And the funny thing is about Instagram, it flips everything. So the slide behind me is backwards. Your book is backwards.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is, but people can you can see it. I mean, this is what it looks like. And we just talked about your book for the last hour. Dr. Ingrid Clayton. It's an amazing book, and I listened to it and I read it, and I hope that anybody that is that naturally fawns or wants to learn more about fawning, this is such an amazing resource and such a tool for us to learn more and heal. So thank you.
Thank you for having me on the podcast and having me here and for reading the book. I'm super excited.
So let's get started. We've got some
Okay.
questions from our community, and I'm watching the chat. So anybody that wants to put your questions in for Dr. Ingrid now, you can. So, what's the difference between being agreeable and losing yourself to keep the peace?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there are a couple of distinctions. One is conscious choice, right? Are you actually agreeing? Agreeing or even being kind or generous implies that you're bringing yourself along, right? Like, are you choosing to be agreeable, or does it feel like you don't have a choice? So
Mhm.
the second
Yeah.
piece of that is the relationship that you're in or the context that you're in. Can it tolerate you not being agreeable? And what happens when you're not? And fawning is often supported, it's learned, it's encouraged, it's applauded. There are a lot of systems that benefit from a chronic fawn response. So, yeah, it's sort of two-prong in that way.
Can you talk about that, please, Ingrid? Like, how is it that fawning is applauded, and how it's like so much in our society, right? So we can identify what it looks like.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, fawning is a relational trauma response. I know you gave a little bit of a definition at the beginning, but where you appease or caretake in order to lessen the relational harm. But if you think about, it's common in childhood and family systems, but also if you think about it, that we live in a patriarchal society. So if you swap out a lot of these sort of definitions of fawning, you could actually place just what it means to be a woman or a girl at the top of that and go, yeah, we're meant to caretake, we're meant to be sweet, we're meant to lean in, we're meant to prioritize others. I think it's deeply ingrained and learned, all the way to those sort of examples where you go, oh, well, say thank you and that you love the gift even though you hate it, and go and give that person a hug or a kiss even though your body sort of recoils at the very idea. We're constantly sort of told, like, override your body, override your needs, certainly override your wants, and that's being good, right? That's being a good girl or a good boy. So deeply ingrained culturally.
Yeah. We are saving this live. Somebody's asking. Yes, it's being saved.
Okay.
What are some small steps to start choosing myself without losing connection to others?
Small steps to start choosing myself. I mean, I'd say the smallest step and probably the most important is to notice yourself.
Mhm.
Before we can even choose ourselves, I think part of the override that happens with fawning, it's like your needs matter more, your opinion matters more. We have to slow down and notice, what do I even feel, right? So choosing might be too big. Choosing might invite conflict and terror. I go, well, before you choose, can you just, in your own private thoughts, maybe in a journal entry, you go, well, if I could feel however I actually feel, what would it be, right? We have to sort of create space. We have to give ourselves permission just to be with ourselves first. I think that's the small but mighty first step.
Yes. Yeah. I do like that. Is fawning always linked to trauma, or can
Mm.
it just be a habit? Mm.
That's a great question. I wouldn't say it's always linked to trauma for the reasons that we've already mentioned. I think it's very ingrained, it's taught, it's expected. But in terms of really a chronic fawn response where it really feels like you have no choice, that does tend to come from some level of experience with complex trauma. Complex trauma is relational trauma, right? So it's where you feel disempowered. Fawning tends to come online when fight, flight, or freeze are either unavailable or would make things worse. And so your body learned over time in constant situations, well, I can't speak up, I can't fight back, there's nowhere to go, right? I have to navigate day in, day out this experience. It's my family, it's my job, it's my community, and I have to leave vital parts of myself outside in order to enter into this environment. And so, for many, it's a result of complex trauma.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I keep, oh, this one. Why do I keep attracting people who take advantage of my kindness? And
Mm,
how do we see that? That's
yeah.
that's complex.
It is, and we talked about this on the podcast a bit. But so, what's very common with complex trauma generally is that we reenact our traumatic patterns. And part of that is because, particularly with childhood trauma, what you are familiar with tends to be the thing that you're drawn to out in the world. But with fawning specifically, and this was certainly my personal experience, it's not really that I was like attracting sort of avoidant or exploitive people, but when I did encounter them, it turned on my fawn response. It's like my body goes, I know how to handle that, right? So my only real sense of safety in the world was formed in a chronic fawn response. So now I go out. Of course, what do you think I'm going to partner up with in terms of feeling the most safe I've ever been? People that are avoidant or exploiting or what have you. So the pattern is common and you come by it very honestly. And this is where we can start to go, wait a second, am I, you know, in this stuck place where I'm waiting for them to change, hoping that they'll change, leaning in to fix, whatever's going on in their life so that they can show up for me. And ultimately, this is where we can move the needle a great deal is when we stop waiting for people to change or to choose us and
Mhm.
we choose ourselves, right? It's a game changer.
It really is. Like, that makes me think of so many things, Ingrid, but I think about just the way because I'm aware now
Yeah.
and working and so much stuff about like honoring myself and what do I need? How am I feeling about this? All the things you talk about in your book about unfawning and
Yeah.
reconnecting with ourselves on such a deeper level
Mhm.
in my healthy relationships, in my relationships with my children, with my
That's right.
partner, with my colleagues. It's like
Yeah.
I can look inside myself and be like, okay, my old response would have been this, and I can
Yes.
work my way, like take a pause and
Mm,
not fawn. let's just say, in certain situations. So, like, it's
It's so
all,
powerful. And I'm really glad that you mentioned even in our healthy relationships, right? Because
yeah.
if you're in a chronic fawn response, you're fawning no matter what. It's like fawning is out 10 steps ahead, always guarding against even potential danger. So part of this work sometimes is in turning to our safe relationships and saying, listen, I'm now learning about this fawn response and that I've been living there in ways I wasn't even aware of. And I want to do it differently. I want to invite more of my true self into this relationship. And in other words, you might need to renegotiate some long-standing relationships. But the intention here, I think, is so beautiful, is because what you're ultimately saying is not just, I want to bring more of me, but we can say, I want to make sure there's all the space in the world for you too. Are there aspects of you or pieces of you that you feel like you've had to sort of leave out of our relationship? And how can we both create more space for us both to be all here and to tolerate even a difference of opinion or conflict or an ebb and flow in our relationship? And I love this idea of kind of renegotiating our relational contracts over time as we're growing and changing. Make it explicit, right?
Oh, that's good. Yes. Yes. As we grow and change, our relationships are going to shift. It's just the natural order of
That's
things.
right. That's right.
Why do I feel guilty every time I try to set a boundary?
Oh my gosh, that question breaks my heart.
Mm.
Uh, because when you tried to set a boundary, it probably didn't go very well.
Yes, when you were little, or like it was just like, no, you're not allowed to have that boundary, or like that's not gonna, right?
Yeah, so for a lot of us in a chronic fawn response, again, we turn to it because the other ones weren't available. I talk about this in my own personal experience. When I tried to set the biggest boundary of all, I was told by the people that were supposed to love you and take care of you, Ingrid, you're a liar. You made it all up. I don't trust you. Right? And so my body goes, oh my God, that's not safe. And secondly, it goes, it must be me. It must be,
Exactly.
right? So we sort of hold all the shame from all of the systems that we've been navigating. And then it really does feel like I'm doing something wrong if I don't privilege and prioritize you. I'm doing something wrong if I say no, if I'm not compulsively available. And yet, to me, how amazing, first of all, that this person is aware enough to ask the question. They're aware that they feel guilty. I go, this is incredible. This is where we can start to change, because rather than feel guilty and reflexively going, oh, I'm doing it wrong, we start to notice and feel the guilt and go, maybe I'm doing something right by feeling the guilt, by feeling this feeling, by being present to it in my body, by seeing if I can linger here even just a little bit longer before I try to fix it and change it in the relationship, and just go, what's it like to be present to me? Right? This is where we start to have a shot at ultimately changing things in our relationships by going, oh, honey, right? It's like reparenting, going, oh, honey, I see you feel guilty. This feels overwhelming. Like even just letting myself know I am here. We don't have to keep feeling that way. We don't have to keep prioritizing everybody. It's a powerful way into this work is to notice where you don't feel good, constantly putting other people first.
Yes. And in that reparenting, in the
Mm,
book, you've got this section about inner child work, and you're like, which I was like that too. You say like I was like cringing. It's like, oh, inner child, what the heck is that, right?
totally.
And I was like that too, like up until like recently.
Yeah.
Now I actually understand it. It's like I have this child inside of me that was
Mm,
acting in the way that I was when I was little.
yeah.
And in those ways, it was like somehow it brought me safety, but it also went against myself. Like,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
like, and so you're going back to that little person inside you, like you said, little honey, little dear, okay, like this is normal that you feel this way. So you could talk to yourself. That part of you is still there. There's
That's
that
right.
little person that we're all parts of, right?
Yes. I
Like
love
even though I'm
internal
walking
family
around in an adult
system.
body, I still have my little my person, like my 5-year-old, my 6-year-old, my 15-year-old, all of that's still inside me.
That's right. And yet, for a lot of us, I think particularly childhood trauma survivors, no one turned to us and said, oh, honey, I see your pain. Like, let me hold it for you. So the idea even that we're doing it for ourselves now, it feels like like I'm going to throw up in my mouth a little bit, right?
Right.
Like it feels like either I failed because I didn't just take care of myself and move on like they told me to, right? Or yeah, it kind of touches on this wound of what we didn't get and that we're having to give it to ourselves. So there can be a lot of shame there, which we can really sort of go, ugh, that's not for me. But to that I go, call it what you want. Don't call it inner child work. Just
Yeah.
think of it as a part. Think of it as, I'm having this experience and can I be with myself in it now? And for most people, when they start to have a new experience with themselves, they go, well, call it what you will. It's tremendously helpful.
Oh, yes. You have you're able to actually think about, like, I've got kids, and for those, like,
Yeah.
if you think about how would you speak to your best friend,
Mm,
but your best friend is yourself, how would you,
yes.
right? It's like, how that is the language we want to start giving to ourselves,
Yeah,
is that advice and that compassion that we give to others.
that's right.
Yeah. How do I recognize when someone else is fawning in a relationship? Like, what are the signs of fawning?
Yeah. Well, conflict avoidance. So if they can never sort of speak up and you have a sense that they are mad at you, but they're saying, no, I'm not mad, right? Everything's
I'm
fine. And
fine.
they're smoothing over it, right? That might be an indicator. Where they always prioritize your needs. It's like, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. That very sort of go along, get along idea. Fawners can like become almost physically smaller. It's kind of like we could even shrink, or our voice can get a little bit higher. It's like we almost get young, right? It's like, no, it's no big deal, whatever you want to do. So the sense that they're not in their body, like feet on the ground, capable of sort of saying what they want, those are some signs. And
Oh,
you might even say like, hey, I know that you're willing to sort of accommodate me, and I appreciate that, but I actually want to know, what do you think, right? Or I know you're saying you're not mad, but I want to be a safe place for you to even feel your anger. It's okay if you're mad, right? Every relationship really is going to hold rupture and repair, rupture and repair. Avoiding the rupture like it doesn't really exist, that's not real relationship, right? It's another level of a performance. And so, can we both be mad at each other sometimes? How do we want to do that? Like, that doesn't mean we're being violent or that it's okay to scream, right? You can also like set some parameters, but how can we be mad at each other? Again, this idea of a renegotiation, but also if you're with someone who you feel like they're the fawner, you really have to kind of give them lots of space and permission and encouragement, because chances are they've never felt healthy conflict their entire life. They've never felt like it's really okay to be in a reciprocal relationship. It's brand new, and you're inviting them into that in a way that feels safe, but it will not feel safe. Initially, it will probably feel terrifying.
oh, that is such good advice, Ingrid. Thank you. I
Thank you.
really like that. I really like that. How do I handle relationships that are built around my fawning patterns? So it's like the other way around, right? It's like
Yeah,
you have been in the pattern of fawning, and now you're like, okay, I recognize it.
yeah,
So is it like you said, it's like being more explicit? Like, I am, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna do things differently from now on. This is how I'm feeling, or like, how would, like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think sometimes it is that. It is sort of like putting it back in the relationship and saying, I'm going to do this differently. But I think also, when your whole life has revolved around like, I can't be all of me, I say, actually, before you go and do things differently in your relationship, what's it like just to be with you in space? Like, take the space, get a little distance actually from these relationships that you're so habituated to fawn all the time. I think that tends to be a vital step, right? You and I talked about this earlier, but we don't start unfawning directly in our relationships typically, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to try to set a boundary. They're not going to completely agree or thank you. And your body's going to be like, oh my God, like I will never do that again. It'll inspire the same terror. It'll feel like it wasn't worth it. And you go deep into your fawn response. So before we try to make this work relational, We have to be with ourselves. That means space. That means mindfulness. That means practicing nervous system regulation. It means reparenting or journaling. It means in these quiet moments going, what do I notice? What do I feel? Can I listen truly, and instead of like reflexively even talking myself out of my feelings, because we're really good at that too. We go, oh, well, Ingrid, don't be so ridiculous, or that's selfish, or you can't really pay attention to that because dot 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 dot. Notice all of those reasons why you shouldn't pay attention to you, and just see if you can like let it sort of move to the side. Okay, thank you for sharing. Can you step aside, because I really need to be present to me. And maybe it's guilt, maybe it's fear, maybe it's overwhelm, but that practice of tolerating the difficult feeling, oh my God, it's way more important than going out and practicing a boundary. Because if you can tolerate whatever it is that you're experiencing and you can really be present for it, this is the muscle that allows you, when you do move out into the world and when you do practice having a voice or setting a boundary, that almost no matter how it goes, you're going to be able to come back to self and be like, I trust me. I believe in
Yes.
me. Maybe I got more information, and that's a good thing too. But at the end of the day, I'm not wrong. I don't have to apologize for existing. I don't have to get out of the way so that your needs are always going to matter more. I'm allowed, right? I'm allowed. And this is how we start to grow that, is internally with ourselves. We don't ask other people to do it, in other words. That's what we've been doing our whole lives with fawning, right?
Right.
You give me permission. Do you validate me? Are you okay? Are you mad? Right? It's like, wait a second. How do I feel? And starting here. And then even if you are mad, I can maybe hear it and be like, oof, well, that makes sense. I understand. Like I
Mhm.
fucked up. Or I can be like, well, okay, I'm hearing that, but I didn't do anything wrong, and I can know it in my body.
Right.
Um, so
Because
that
it's all of this is just so it just points to, you have to build that relationship with yourself.
that's
You
right.
you haven't trusted yourself. You haven't loved yourself. You've been looking outside yourself for all that validation, all of um, right, all the answers, the guidance, and now it's like it takes time to build a relationship. And
It
it takes
does.
time to build a relationship with yourself. And the more you practice that, following your inner guidance, it's
Yes.
like it's going to be like you're saying, you're building that relationship, and you're reinforcing, and you're going to act differently.
Yes, the one little tweak I would make on that is, it's not that we didn't love ourselves, right? We don't
That's
leave
right.
our own body because we don't love ourselves. We left our own experience and prioritized whatever was happening externally because we loved ourselves a whole lot, right? It's that
Yes.
Fawning was the last house on the block. The body will always prioritize safety and survival, and so that's exactly what happened. I do not want to shame or blame survivors for 1 second longer for any of
Right.
these behaviors. And it's a yes and, right? And we're not meant to live in survival mode all the time. We're meant to have more flexibility, right? To move in and out of these states and come back to self. And that's everything else you were talking about, which is like reconnecting with my sense of autonomy and with agency and this expansive self that I can now bring into the world. But I didn't lose it because I didn't love myself. I actually lost it because I
Yes.
was in an environment where it was necessary to survive. And now, and this isn't true for everyone, but now for me, I'm no longer living in that same environment. So can I sort of, again, renegotiate, recalibrate, reprocess, all of these words, to get into present tense? Trauma basically is this experience of the past going, it's happening now, it's happening now, I know it's happening, I gotta be on guard, right? Healing means being present to reality, present to what I'm experiencing, and the ability to bring that into whatever my environment is without, getting stuck in this. Um, a word came into my mind and then it left, but just being held hostage is the word I was looking for,
Yes.
by a trauma response, right?
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're out of time, but thank you, Dr. Ingrid Clayton, I know it goes fast. Thank you so much. I
This
hope
was
the book again for
amazing.
people to read it and listen to it because I just thought it was incredible.
I
And thank
really
everybody
appreciate that.
for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Okay, you
Bye.
too. Bye.